Welcome, Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Risings, to your weekly forecast for July 1st through 7th. It is a powerful week. I do highly recommend that before watching this video, you watch this video right here for the collective reading. But for a quick recap before we get into it, some of the days, July 1st through the 3rd this week, are very quiet. Nothing's really going on other than the moon movements. And then we have, on July 4th, it is a big day. We have Venus in Taurus conjunct Uranus in Taurus. Then after that, Venus will enter Gemini that same day. And then Neptune is also stationing retrograde on July 4th. So July 4th this year is going out with quite a bang. And then July 6th, we have Venus in Gemini. Will be sextiling Saturn and Neptune in Aries. And then on July 7th, Uranus will enter Gemini, which is a big deal. Big collective shift, which I talk about in the collective video in depth-ish. And then Venus will also be trining Pluto in Aquarius. So it is a big week, really, for Venus and Gemini, which is you. Since a lot of the energy this week is focused on you and your sign, this week is going to start a lot of inner awakening, identity activation, and perhaps uncovering some hidden desires for you. Okay, so let's go through it one by one. So first, on July 4th, we have Venus joining up with Uranus at the final degrees of Taurus, which is in your 12th house. So this might bring some intuitive downloads, dreams. Pay big attention to your dreams this week, and maybe even surprising attractions that can stir the subconscious. So the 12th house is about like our subconscious patterning, our dreams, and like literally our dreams when we're sleeping, not like our hopes and dreams, although those too. But yeah, it's the house of rest. It's the house of, some people call it the house of self-undoing, because it is where a lot of our subconscious patterns and like self-sabotaging behaviors live and things like that. So with Venus meeting up with it at the final degrees, like you've probably been, with Uranus having traveled through here, you've probably over the last 8 years or so had some, discoveries of some self-sabotaging behaviors and things like that, subconscious patterning come to the surface, or, whether through consciously working on it, or Uranus likes to shake things up, so perhaps things in your world kind of shifted to bring something to your attention. Well, with Venus meeting up with Uranus in your 12th house, this could be like, and Uranus is either, sudden events happening or sudden like downloads of intuition and, things showing up in our dreams. So with Venus meeting up here, you might be having, and at the final degree, some final sudden realizations about maybe patterns in your relationships, or patterns that you have in with regards to your money and your finances and maybe your work and things like that, that you realize have been holding you back, like self-limiting belief type things. Those might start coming through. Or perhaps, since this is the 12th house and kind of the connection to the other realms with dreams, and with Uranus meeting up with Venus, perhaps like mediumship type stuff is coming to me right now as well. You can see my dog's tail. She's very excited. So that could be some stuff coming up for you with that conjunction. So then on that same day, July 4th, Venus will enter Gemini, the house of you, the first house, the house of identity. So when it enters your sign, it will potentially bring charm and beauty and relational magnetism to you. And it'll be here all month. So you should be having a really good month, attracting good relationships, having good relationships. People will find you to be charming, to be beautiful, to be a little bit more magnetic, especially with on the 7th, with Venus trining Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto adds a lot of magnetism. Like, trine is a beneficial aspect, and with that trine, that can bring a lot of magnetism. That is in your 9th house of beliefs, and also foreign people, foreign places, things like that. So you might perhaps meet somebody from a foreign, like somebody who's different than you might be drawn to you, or vice versa, you might be drawn to them. But it really does, the trine to Pluto will bring extra magnetism kind of your way, so be ready for that. But Venus will be, like I said, in your sign the entire month, so it should be a pretty good month for you for love and finances and those types of things. So that is exciting. And then we have on the 6th, we have Uranus moving into your house. So Uranus in your first house for the next 7 to 8 years, and keep your eyes peeled because I do plan on doing a longer sign by sign video of what Uranus over the next 7 years in each sign can really bring. But overall, Uranus, it is the sign of, or the planet of wanting to break out of the box, wanting to do things different, the planet of liberation, the planet of shock and awe. So over the next 7 to 8 years, you may have it's kind of starting this 7 to 8 year personal revolution for you. So you might expect shifts in your identity, like changing your hairstyle dramatically, changing the way you dress dramatically, things like that. But then also like nervous system upgrades. Uranus does rule our nervous system. So there could be something regarding that. And then, just other wild personal breakthroughs. Wherever you felt like you've been trapped in a box, when Uranus travels through your sign of self, this is going to be the time to break out of any of those boxes that you feel that you've been in. And right now you may not feel like you are in a box, but over the next 7 to 8 years you may find yourself feeling like you are in one and that you want to liberate yourself. So just be aware of that. That is exciting though. And then Venus will also be making a sextile from your first house to Saturn and Neptune in your 11th house. So Saturn and Neptune are really, Neptune, which we'll talk about in a second, is also going retrograde, which will be having you reevaluate your dreams and social circles and things like that. And with Venus in your first house, not only is that love and money, but it's also, like our value system, like what we spend our time on and things like that, and our relationships. And so it's really, this sextile is kind of asking you with the Neptune going retrograde kind of at the same time, it's asking you to maybe reevaluate some of your friendships and align them to more who you are now in this moment, this new version of you, as well as Saturn wants to kind of bring some stability. So if there are organizations that you want to get involved in now, this would be a good time to do that, to start building those foundations. Saturn is also boundaries too, though. So if there are groups of people that maybe you need to set some better, more clear boundaries with, this sextile is a perfect time to do that. Like I said, Neptune retrograde there will have you potentially evaluating your social circles, and Neptune is kind of our hopes and dreams, as well as where we may not be seeing things clearly, maybe looking at things with rose-colored glasses. So with it going retrograde, you may find that you are discovering that some groups that you belong to, or friendships that you have, or something like that, maybe aren't exactly all that you have thought they were cracked up to be. So that is what's going on for you this week. Now we are going to pull a card for you. I'm using the Lightseers deck this week. Let me just shuffle, and then we'll get you one. The question that I'm asking for everyone this week is, with all the Uranus energy going on, which is, Uranus energy is unpredictable. So there's a lot of unpredictability coming through this week. So my question is, how can we stay grounded? So for my Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Risings, how can they best stay grounded? I'll take that one. Okay. Okay, so the two cards that came out for you is the Seven of Swords, and this one is a kind of a confusing one. It is one of like deception, but in the card you can't tell whether you are the one deceiving or you are the one being deceived. So that is a question only you can answer. But with Neptune stationing retrograde in your 11th house, I would just, maybe be kind of cautious. Maybe with Neptune turning retrograde, you might discover that things that you thought were on the up and up really maybe weren't. And to just trust the intuition, right? Birds are messengers. Trust especially with Uranus going into your first house, trust the intuitive downloads that you're having. Trust your gut with regards to if anyone is deceiving, or if you are being the deceiver. Just trust your gut and trust your intuition, and really lean into that. Lean into the messages that are coming to you, as well as what I'm getting right now as well is to kind of like look at actions of people. Like if you aren't sure about a group, or a group that you belong to, or a friendship or something like that, really take a moment to not just hear what they say, but see what they do, right? Actions do a lot of times speak louder than words. So to have your eyes open and your eyes clear, and to not allow yourself to be deceived by pleasantries on the surface or something like that. Like, see how people are actually acting, and that might ground you in to the truth of what's going on. And then the other way to ground in the energy of this week is, especially with Uranus going into your first house, and Venus going in there, you may have new so the other card is Page of Wands, which Page is like a childlike energy, and Page is kind of like wanting to start something new. So this is giving me the feeling that you might have like a sudden spark of like some new hobby or some new idea, something that sparks your interest perhaps that hasn't before, and you're kind of like you have this childlike excitement about it. And my recommendation based on this would be to really ground into that. Like, you're going to be going through this, big identity shift over the next 7 to 8 years. And maybe there are some ideas that are going to be coming through as Uranus shifts into your first house, as Venus shifts into your first house, and to ground into that, especially as Venus is meeting up with Saturn, which really wants to build a foundation, right? So to trust whatever new ideas, even if it seems so out of left field for you, it could be something that turns into something amazing over the next few years. So to really, any seeds of ideas of like any new bits of passion that are showing up for you, or curiosity, lean into them would be my goal or my suggestion for how to stay grounded based on the cards that came through. I hope that this message resonated. Please comment if it does. And so this week, is kicking off some seriously big shifts, and if you're feeling it, you're definitely not alone. I've got several offers going on to help you move through it with more clarity and support. Number one, I have just a quick 15-minute reading, just for $7. If you kind of struggle, a lot of people struggle with knowing whether to listen to their sun, moon, or rising sign, and are frustrated if they feel like they should resonate with one and they really don't. And if that's something that is confusing to you and you've never had somebody look at that for you, I would be happy to look at your chart and kind of determine why or what, which of those are probably most likely what you would resonate with the most when listening to these types of readings. It can have a lot to do with whether you're born at night, born during the day, and just the configuration of your chart as well. And then also I have a 30-minute reading available if you just want to take a quick and dirty look at how this energy is activating you in particular, and if it is interacting with any of your natal chart or natal placements. We can take a quick look at that. That wouldn't be like a full natal chart reading. That it would just mainly be like, yes, it's hitting you in these planets and activating this part of your life. And then if you wanted to go deeper from there, we could, but just kind of helping you pinpoint for yourself what is going on. And then I did just kick off a Tarot for Growth challenge. I've been doing this for this is my 3rd month, so I post daily tarot challenge questions to dive deep into our inner world, kind of like shadow work type questions. They go really deep, and this month they are so beautifully aligned with what is happening in the astrology and really helping us ground in the astrology. So I post those questions daily on my community tab, so you can check that out, or in the link in the descriptions below, you can get the full July calendar worth of prompts all at once. And then occasionally I will be posting like a collective reading for whatever the question of the day is, but not every day. So there is that available as well. I'd love to see you over in the community tab participating in that. And then I also, I did a solstice, a summer solstice and entry into Cancer season video, talking about how that energetic blueprint kind of sets the season for the entire summer as well as Cancer season. And so clearly that energy is still underpinning everything that's going on now, so that reading is still accurate. And I have a lot of offerings for that. I've got a free download of journal prompts, and then a bigger 29-page guided workbook to kind of help you align with the energy of the summer season. And then 2 tiers of personalized astrology readings, similar, seeing how the summer solstice chart specifically is lighting up your natal chart, and then one that goes a little bit deeper than that as well. So two levels, kind of more surface level, it's activating you here, and then one that kind of combines a natal chart reading with it as well. And then I also have a specific sanctuary, summer solstice sanctuary tarot reading that is available as well. And then even though it's not Men's Mental Health Month anymore, I am still offering my Men's Mental Health. I created a suite of services for our men. A lot of times their mental health is just kind of shoved under the rug and not addressed, and I don't feel like get as much support as women or other groups of people do. So I wanted to extend things to them. So these are powerful tools. There's a couple different astrology readings, a tarot reading, and it's mostly just to witness our men and to help them understand, based on their astrology chart, kind of their emotional makeup, so they can understand how they deal with how best for them to deal with their harder emotions like anger and things like that, but as well as their other emotional landscape and their strengths as well, and just to kind of witness them and help them understand what their emotional makeup is, and that it is a part of them and nothing that they need to be, we don't want our men to feel, but that is crazy. Like, the strongest men feel the most and know how to work through their emotions, and so I want to provide that support. And then I also have an add-on for that for significant others of men based on their astrology chart and how best you can support them when they're like really going through it. So if that is something that you are interested in, the links are in the description below. And yeah, if anything in this video resonated, please drop a comment and let me know. I'd love to hear from you. And let me know what your rising sign is and what you're looking forward to this week, what you're nervous about, or what you would love to, any types of videos that you'd love to see me do. So I hope to see you back here next week, and have a wonderful day.